Today on the channel, we've got one of the controversial figures from the G.I. Joe cartoon universe, as well as the Skybound Energon universe. Today, we're looking at Nemesis Enforcer, or Nemesis Immortal, on Way I Got It Figured.
The way I got it figured.
What's up, figure fans? Way I Got It Figured, back with another G.I. Joe Classified series review. This time we're looking at 140 Nemesis Immortal. Obviously, the original name for this character is Nemesis Enforcer. It was changed during the 25th anniversary line, where I guess they lost the trademark to the character, so they ended up just renaming it Nemesis Immortal, and that name has seemingly stuck. But I'm going to refer to him as Nemesis Enforcer because that's what his name used to be, and that's what I'm going to keep calling him. So I got this figure from a good buddy in the DMV Action Figure Society group. Well, actually, he is in that group, but that's not. Actually, I got it from him from the G.I. Joe Classified community on Facebook. And I paid a little bit extra for him. I didn't want to wait for a restock because I missed him when he was first offered as a pre-order. Then, of course, in between, they restocked them. But, I went ahead and completed my purchase with my good buddy. So I want to say thank you to him. I'm not going to call any names, but he knows who he is, and thank you for helping me out. So we're going to look at the package, get the figure out, pose him around, do some comparisons, and get you out of here with some final thoughts. So Nemesis Enforcer, of course, his big claim to fame is being the muscle in G.I. Joe, the movie, 1987, where he had an epic battle with Sergeant Slaughter. And now he's been given a figure in the Classified series. And of course, more recently, he was in the Cobra Commander limited series, where he definitely still has the same sort of relationship with Cobra Commander. Not going to spoil anything, but you need to read it. The Skybound Energon universe stuff is really good. I did start off doing some videos for the Transformers book, but there are people who are so much better at it than me that I just said, you know what, I'm just going to watch their videos. So, but I am an avid reader. I've gotten every issue so far and intend to continue doing that. So, on to the Nemesis Enforcer himself. He got a cool box and kind of an updated version of the character. You kind of see the updates here where they've got him with these weird bone armors and extra things. You got a Cobra Commander and the Clam. There's a good callback to G.I. Joe the movie. And then you've got his file card symbols. He is there's 4 Vanguard, 2 hand-to-hand combat, 4 strength, and 2 infiltration. So it looks like 4 Vanguard, 2 hand-to-hand combat, 4 strength, and 2 infiltration. He's got some really cool insets here with the texture of the figure and everything like that. So you can see all of it. So we're going to get Nemesis Enforcer out and see what we can see. All right, so we've got Nemesis Enforcer out of his package with his accessories. Of course, he does have the wings on. The wings don't actually come on him. You got to kind of put them on, and we'll get into that a little bit. But he comes with quite a few things: extra set of hands, extra head, 2 swords, the tentacles, and of course the carapace that attaches the wings to his back. And he looks really good. Certainly evokes the classic character, but with some updated changes. Like they gave him these sort of pointed feet. They're not like regular feet, which the original figure had, and the character was portrayed with sort of regular feet. I don't really care about that, but he does look cool. He's got his little blades on his arms, and he's a pretty formidably sized G.I. Joe Classified Series figure. He might be the biggest one outside of Road Pig, and I'm very happy to see what they did with it. Certainly not disappointed. We're looking at, we'll look at the accessories first. So he has these swords, and they're like crustacean type bone crustacean swords. Everything from Cobra La is a sort of organic technology. They got the tentacles that go on his back, and of course they have a little carapace on those too. The portrait appears to be identical, but he has, some bone armor that sort of got overlays to protect his head, extra in a sense. And he's got 2 savage beatdown fists. They've even got little kind of doomsday type knuckle points on them. Very cool. And then to look at Nemesis Enforcer, figure looks really good. Definitely an updated version of the classic character from toy and animation. This fist came off, so let me put that back on here real quick. I don't know why that happened. There you go, no problems. Got his little sheaves, and I think they're a good update to them. You can count those as extra accessories, even though you're probably not going to take them off. But it looks good, and pretty muscular. He's got his shoulder pad kind of deals there. A weird creature that provides him wings, so they're not really his wings, and they're posable. You can sort of extend them out like that. I usually keep them like this, just to keep them a little bit more compact. But overall, I'd say it's a pretty good looking figure. He does lose boot cut, so that's kind of something you're not getting. G.I. Joe Classified Series has boot cut standard, but he didn't get it for some reason. I don't think it's a deal breaker. Aesthetically, it doesn't really hurt. Joints are a little tight here, but you can get them in some pretty decent poses. I might need to heat them up at some point, just a little bit, but as you can see, I can pose them. He's got the new abdomen, so that's always sort of limited there, but it's standard now for the abdomen. Head looks up a decent amount, looks down a passable amount. And he's got his drop down legs. He does have that. All G.I. Joe Classified Series figures get the drop down leg. Kicks out pretty good. Knee bend is fairly sufficient. As you can see, you can get him into some pretty decent poses. It's not Mayfex, but it's G.I. Joe. Trying to get his head a little bit aligned, but it works out. It works pretty good. And what else? What else do you expect? I think once again, articulation wise, he's pretty decent. Stand him up a little bit better here. And yeah, just aside from the boot cut, you're good. So for my money, Hasbro delivered pretty solid deluxe figure with Nemesis Enforcer here. You get some updates. You get good posability, if not perfect posability. He's got his wings. He's got his fearsome look. And I think we should get him geared up and do some comparisons. All right, so we've got Nemesis Enforcer geared up, at least as far as I'm going to gear him up. Put a fist in his hand, gave him a sword, put his other sword in the sheath. I have the same amount of enthusiasm for giving him the tentacles as I did way back in 1987, which is none. And this head looks cool, but honestly, this is a nostalgic character for me. I don't really care about this. I mean, I'm not saying I won't ever put it on, but it's not the main draw. And he looks good. He's got his swords. I think the swords, honestly, is the best upgrade you can give him. I know a lot of people got Nemesis Enforcer and put wings on them from something else or whatever. And they do look nice, but honestly, I'm good with these. I don't see what the big deal is, why people didn't like them. If those wings that they switched out for these make it to where he can stand better, maybe I'd be with it. But from an appearance standpoint, I really don't see much difference, honestly. So there's that. So what we're going to do now is bring in a couple of comparisons. Probably the comparisons will be closest characters sort of closest associated with Nemesis Enforcer. We're definitely not going to reinvent the wheel or anything here. So firstly, we'll bring in the Cobra Commander, who Nemesis Enforcer seems to find highly unlikable. And next we'll bring in Cobra Emperor, Serpentor. We're going to do a little bit of straightening up here, because I want to show off the fact that Nemesis Enforcer is actually taller. Like I said, he's probably the second largest figure after Road Pig. Stand them side by side. Well, actually, he's about the same size as Serpentor. There you go. Serpentor actually looks like he's actually got a little bit of height on him. stand them back to back here in a minute. And Cobra Commander, being your kind of regular sized dude, is of course short. Standing these guys back to back. Camera. Pentor is indeed a little taller than Nemesis Enforcer. And I don't think it was like that in the movie. But, you know, I'm not looking for canonical accuracy to the movies. I was off in my assertion that he was larger than Pentor, though, so guess I should have did the comparison before I did the comparison, if you know what I mean. But that's cool. He's sufficient. Either way, he doesn't have to be bigger than Serpentor. But, yeah, there you go. So there's your comparisons. I'll move on to final thoughts. Final thoughts on G.I.Joe Classified Series number 140, Nemesis Immortal, aka Nemesis Enforcer. I'm very happy with this figure. I think he's great. Didn't really want to put him too deep into my G.I. Joe Classified Series top 10 list because I feel like I didn't have all that much time with him. But he's a pretty cool figure, and I'm pretty glad I have him. Certainly waiting for Globulus and the Royal Guards. I know the weirder side of G.I. Joe isn't always everybody's cup of tea, but honestly, when I was a kid in 1987, it didn't bother me then, still doesn't bother me now. And I'm glad to have him, you know, in my collection. I don't always have to have him front and center or anything like that, but I do feel like it was a worthy figure to get. I think for where I got a figure rank, I'm certainly willing to step up to a 9. I don't think I would give him a 10. I don't know why. Let's just say because of the balance issues with the wings, he should be able to stand. And you can make him stand and just had him standing, but it is a little bit of work here and there. Maybe I'm lazy and I just don't feel like I should have to work so much. But 9 out of 10, pretty great. And looking for more Cobra La. Give us Pythona. Give us the Royal Guards. Give us Globulus. Kind of want all of that. So that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for all the new subscribers. Jumping in, subscribing to some videos, watching some videos, and leaving some comments. I love it. I interact on. I don't think there's a single comment on the channel to this point that I haven't responded to. That was a serious comment. Like I got a couple of spam comments. I mean, you know, everybody gets those. But if it's a real comment, I'm going to answer it. So always know that that's going to happen. In the meantime, we definitely have more G.I. Joe Classified Series to cover. Nemesis Enforcer, I got him a little bit late, and of course the video is probably going to be going up a little bit later. So there's that. But, you know, if it's a major release at some point, I'm going to want to put my spin on it. I'm not so concerned with the recency of it or whatever. It's sort of when I get around to it. And if it's something that I want to review. That's just how I do it here. So, if you're new to the channel and you like watching videos about action figures, certainly tune in. We'd love to hear from you. Love to have you. That's going to do it for this one. Till next time, everybody stay safe. Happy collecting. See you on the next video. Peace.
The way I got it figured.